I can hear me. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, let me see if I'm recording. Am I recording? I am recording. Let me get my audio recording set. And here we go. All right. What's going on out there, everybody? Thank you guys so much for joining me on my initial YouTube live stream. It should be a lot of fun. I hope y'all are having fun. I'm here to have fun. If y'all are having fun with me, go ahead and make sure you hit that like, that comment, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. If you listen to this on the podcast, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you drop a rating. And make sure it's like a 5-star rating, you know what I mean? Because if you drop anything less than a 5-star rating, then you just don't know good podcasting. I mean, obviously, right? This here is the Talkin Bout Podcast. I'm your boy, TW. If you're watching me right here on YouTube, bear with me, okay? I'm figuring this thing out. First time streamer, okay? This should be a lot of fun here. But if you love what I'm saying, if you hate what I'm saying, no matter what, you know what I mean? The best thing you could do is tell somebody how stupid you think I sound, or tell somebody how smart you think I sound. You know what I mean? How outrageous you think I sound. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's bring more people into the conversation. I'm having fun. Hope y'all are having fun with me, and let's do this. So, I dropped a little tweet today that apparently caught some people's attention. So, I watched The Batman, the newest incarnation of the Batman franchise, and I mean it was okay, right? It was okay. It wasn't terrible, but it was boring as hell. That movie was 2 hours and 55 minutes long. It did not have to be that long. That movie did not have to be that long. A Batman movie is a dark setting. We see a crime happening. The criminal looks over his shoulder because he hears something rustling in the background. Then he turns around and he sees nothing. He looks at his partner. His partner looks kind of spooked. Then they go back to doing their crime. Then they hear something else rustling in the background. They have no idea what's going on. Then before they know it, they look up and I'm Batman, right? Boom, 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 boom. Batman, knocking everybody out. That's what Batman does, right? Get his Batman on. Then he goes away. Scene setting, okay, police station. Oh, Gotham City's going crazy. So much crime. We can't trust anybody. There's mass vigilantes running around, right? Like, a Batman movie is a very simple formula. You meet the criminals. The criminals hatch a plan. You know, the plan looks like it's gonna work. Gotham City looks like it's in peril and nobody can save it. Nobody knows what to do. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes Batman to foil all the bad guys, best laid plans. And, look, he's Batman. You don't have much to do because Batman is going to Batman, right? It's a very simple formula. So tell me why I sat down to watch this movie today. And it was everything but that. It was, you're introducing me to your new brand of Catwoman, and he has some sort of weird, funny relationship with Alfred, and, you're not my father, and all of this, man, it's just like, dog, just give me Batman. Give me conflict. Give me rich playboy stuff. You know what I mean? Give Bruce Wayne with his beautiful woman, and he's personally conflicted and all of that stuff. And it's Batman. It's you don't have to do a whole lot. Okay? Batman is easy money. Just do Batman. But instead, you tried to get deep. And here's where you messed up, okay? You messed up because you're trying to play catch up. You're trying to play catch up. Now, look, I'm going to take y'all back in the Wayback Machine, okay? I'm a child of the 80s/90s. So I grew up when Superman was the thing. Everybody loves Superman, right? Everybody's like, oh my God, Superman, he's so great. Superman, all the people, he's the best good guy. And I'm like,
oh, brother, this
guy stinks. I'm not a Superman guy. I was more of a Batman guy. I always liked, like the second guy, right? Like as a wrestling fan, Hulk Hogan was a big deal, and I was much more of a Macho Man guy, right? Much more of a Macho Man guy, even with the cartoons, right? If y'all know the Muppet Babies, I know that's a throwback for a lot of y'all. But with the Muppet Babies, it was Kermit the Frog, right? He was the hero. Everybody loved Kermit. He got the girl. Miss Piggy was the girl in this sense, right? And I like Gonzo better. I don't know, man. He was a weirdo. Nobody liked Gonzo. I like Gonzo. I was a Gonzo guy. So, I don't know, man. It just wasn't like, I just was never the guy to be like, whoever is the person being presented as the favorite, I'm jumping on that bandwagon, right? So I was much more of a Batman guy than a Superman guy, right? And then we get to, oh God, what was this? 89? God, I'm dating myself. 89, and the Batman movie comes out, like the first, really dramatic Batman movie with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I was really young when this happened, but it was such a big deal, right? Like you couldn't escape it. You couldn't get away from it. So I remember when this happened. And that set off this run of movies, and Batman was like the king of the superheroes all of a sudden, right? Like, they would have every Batman movie would be a different Batman, a different villain, and you would also get to see different directors and their different take on how to present the Batman story. It was a lot of fun. It was dope. And then we got to a point in like the mid-90s when X-Men got popping, right? And so X-Men got popping, and all of a sudden X-Men was the cool thing, right? Because Wolverine was the badass. You had Cyclops. There was the love triangle between Wolverine and Cyclops and Jean Grey and Professor X, and you had the mutants and all of that, right? So X-Men was the big thing. And then I think it was early 2000s when they came out with the X-Men movie. And that was just it, right? They had like celebrities in it. I remember they had Rebecca Romijn and Halle Berry, Hugh Jackman, right? And Captain Picard. What's this guy's real name? What's Captain Picard's real name? It's Richard something. Whatever. He's Jean-Luc Picard to me. So anyway, they had this A-list cast of actors for the X-Men movie. And the X-Men movie was, it was a hit. It was a really big deal. Then Spider-Man came out. I think that was like early 2000s. I want to say that was like my freshman year of college when the Spider-Man movie came out with Tobey Maguire. And for me, it was over. I was like, yo, Spider-Man, that's my guy. Top notch, everything from here on out, right? Spider-Man had a great run. X-Men made a few more movies that was, there were some duds in there. And then Marvel, man. Then Marvel. Somebody was drinking something or smoking something, talking to somebody, and they had this idea. They said, yo, what if we put a crazy cast together? We spend all the money on the special effects, A-list celebrities, and we do a 15-year story arc of the wildest, movie, the wildest connection of superhero movies that you've ever seen, right? And there you go. The MCU was born. The Avengers story arc was born. You started with the Iron Man and the Hulk movie nobody talks about, and the Thor and all of that, right? All culminating in Avengers Endgame, right? Which is arguably, but unarguably, the greatest collection. The greatest culmination, right, of any series of anything I've ever watched. Right? Like, you can't look at, I don't think there's anything, right? Like, any TV show, any series of movies that has had a better ending than Avengers Endgame, right? That was easily the best, right? Like, nothing's been better. Thank you, children. Nothing's been better than Avengers Endgame as far as, like, bringing a story together, wrapping it up, having emotion, having all of that. Y'all were there, right? So DC is sitting there looking at all the success that Marvel's having, all this money that the MCU is raking in, and of course, they look up and go, hey, we should try to get some of that too. We got Superman. Superman's a big deal. Who doesn't love Superman? As if they missed the last 20 years. They're like, oh, we got Batman. Who doesn't love Batman? And oh, by the way, somewhere in the middle of this, they had the Chris Nolan Batman movies, right? The what was it? Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises. Yo, phenomenal, right? Phenomenal. We all remember Heath Ledger's Joker, right? That's one of the best movie characters, best movie villains of all time. Everybody's always going to remember that. And I mean, look, it's not like Batman died or went away, but DC they became they were peeking over the stall, right? Peeking over the stall, seeing what Marvel had going on, and they just decided they had to get in on it too. So they've been trying to create this DC universe, of all their characters and try to have something similar to what Marvel created, and it's just not close. Yeah, it's not even close. It's not even close. And the latest example of this is this latest Batman movie, right? So in this version, we got who's this guy? Robert Pattinson? Is that his name? Robert Pattinson? He's one of the vampires from Twilight. Okay? Now, when I think of Batman, what I think of is vampire from Twilight. Twilight vampire equals Batman to me. That to me is just the perfect combination, right? It's not. It just doesn't match. Like in my brain, it doesn't come together. So that you're starting from behind the 8 ball to begin with, right? But I gotta say, I mean, all in all, I like different interpretations, different takes on a story, right? Different methods of presenting a character and presenting a story. So I'm here for all the different iterations of Batman. But there was no reason this movie had to be 2 hours and 50 minutes long. This movie could have been and should have been an hour and a half long. The last 15 minutes of this movie where, spoiler alert, if you guys are not familiar with this movie, if you haven't seen it, if you plan on seeing it, you might want to skip ahead like 5 minutes. But the last 5 minutes, the last 10, 15 minutes of this movie, where everybody's trapped in the Gotham Square Garden and they're flooding the town, and the whole Riddler's plan is being hatched to try and get everybody and get Batman. That was dope. That was a Batman movie, right? Like, you got your treacherous situation. It looks like the hero is trapped and doom is certain, but the hero comes through. That's a Batman movie. There was no damn reason for all of that to have been stretched out over almost 3 hours. It just wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary. Unless you are trying to tell me how Iron Man got back from space, how they went back in time, grabbed all the Infinity Stones, went and remade history, killed Thanos, killed Iron Man, and what are we going to do moving forward? Unless you are wrapping up that level of story, that level of epicness, you don't need 3 hours. You don't need 3 hours of my time. And you're not going to get 3 hours of my time again. I can't believe I sat through that. You know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't check how long the movie was before I watched it. I didn't check how long the movie was before I started watching it. I just know I was watching it and nothing was happening, and then I was dozing off. And I was like, oh, they're in basically the same place. Let me just say, yeah, I'm watching again. I'm paying attention. And then I'm, wait. And this happened to me at least 2 or 3 times watching this movie. I'm like, yo, I had to convince myself not to bail on the movie. I was like, I made it this far. Let me make sure I finish it, right? So, listen, the ending of the movie was good. I liked their reimagining of the Joker character and of the Riddler character, the reimagining of Catwoman. I thought I thought there was some good stuff there. You know what I mean? I didn't think the movie was like a total dud, or I wouldn't say the whole thing was bad, nothing like that. But I would say it didn't have to be that long. That movie did not have to be 3 hours long, dog. That movie could have been an hour and a half. We all could have moved on with our day. And, yeah, like that could have been better. That just didn't, why? Why? That's all I'm saying. Like, just why? So that was my experience with the Batman. Colin Kaepernick is back in the news. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick, freedom fighter, fighter of justice. You know what I mean? Hater of racist. Shout out to this brother. I'm sorry, what I meant to say was Colin Kaepernick back in the news. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. Of course, I got love for Colin Kaepernick, for obvious reasons, right? Obvious reasons. Anybody who stands up for racial justice is good in my book. And yeah, I've been seeing clips circulating and headlines circulating that the homie Kaepernick did a podcast. He did an interview with the I Am Athlete podcast. That's the podcast with Chad Ochocinco and I think Pac-Man Jones is on it. Brandon Marshall is on it. Remember Brandon Marshall was on this with like 3 other dudes, and there was some funny money business situations, and now it's Brandon Marshall and Chad Ochocinco and whoever else wants to come along. But Kaepernick, apparently they did like a throwing session together, and Kaepernick, sat down and chatted with the bros for a few minutes, and I like this. I like this because, Kaepernick, he hasn't been doing interviews. You know what I mean? Kaepernick hasn't been doing interviews. He hasn't been talking to anybody, and people have been wanting to talk to him. If you notice, like a lot of media, when they talk about Kaepernick, they tend to throw in little comments like, "Well, do we know if Kaepernick really wants to play? Do we really know if he still wants to play?" And what? How could you not know if he wants to play? Right? But that's the way journalists try and bait people into making statements. They're like, "Oh, well, if he doesn't talk to us, all we can do is speculate." Right? That's their way of saying, you're giving us the green light to say whatever we want because you won't grant us an interview. You won't come on to our show, and so we're just gonna say whatever we want. We're gonna do whatever we want because you're not coming onto our show, coming onto our platform and engaging with us. So I guess you're just leaving us free to say and do whatever we want, right? It's like a stick up, right? That's the way journalists do a stick up, right? Like either you give us the content we want or we're going to write whatever we want about you, right? And Kaepernick, in his, as has become what he's become known for, right? Completely unbending, unflinching manner, he hasn't given in. He hasn't been doing interviews. He hasn't been doing anything. He's just been sticking to his guns, hanging back, working out, doing his own projects, doing, books, TV shows, movies. He's still getting bread, but obviously what he wants to do is he wants to play football. And I think part of him wanting to play football is about completing this story of saying, "Hey, I stood up for what was right, and I was persecuted for it, and I pushed through, I persisted, I persevered, and eventually I was able to get back into the NFL." And listen, I'd love for it to happen. Is it going to happen? Who knows? Probably not. But nonetheless, it is interesting that Colin Kaepernick is doing interview now. Why is that interesting? It's interesting because it says that he is at what he feels is another level of urgency, right, for his chances to get back into the league. Like he understands that time is running, is running out on his opportunities to. I mean, not that he really has opportunities, but maybe he feels, his physical clock. Maybe he's just getting tired of training and preparing every offseason for a season that's not coming. It shows that he's going on the media offensive trying to create some headlines, trying to create some conversation about why he's not getting a shot to play in the NFL. And I think it's interesting. And here's another thing that I actually absolutely applaud him for. A big reason why I believe he's avoided doing a bunch of interviews is because he never wanted to be seen as going on an apology tour, right? Because you see this all the time, right? When an athlete has some big screw up, they will go on the apology tour. They'll start, doing every interview. They'll start doing every TV show, every article, speaking to as many people as they can to put it out there that, hey, I'm sorry. I've learned the error of my ways. Please forgive me. Please find it in your heart to give me another chance. But he hasn't done anything wrong, right? Like, he hasn't done anything wrong. He doesn't have anything to apologize for. And I think it's been very important to him to maintain that position, maintain that status, maintain that stance, that I'm not out here apologizing. I haven't done anything to apologize for, right? And so I love that. I love that he's speaking, but he's going to, an outlet it's a black run outlet, right? It's former athletes. It's people who will be the most sympathetic to his position and where he's coming from. So I don't know, man. Look, I wish Kaepernick all the best. I hope that, one of these 32 branches can see in their heart to, give this brother a job, man. You have, the owner of the Patriots out here dancing around with Meek Mill talking about, police reform and social justice, but he ain't got a job for Kaepernick. You can't give this man a backup job. You got Pete Carroll was out here. He brought Kaepernick in for a workout, a sham workout. And, he said, oh, we already have a starter and he's a starter. Oh man, just like all the, whew. Well, man, Anthony Lynn, I think it was last season or the season before, he said, oh yeah, Kaepernick would definitely be on our list of people we bring in for a workout. He never brought him in for a workout. They ended up firing his ass anyway, so he should have just brought Kaepernick in. Duh. Y'all out here doing these passive-aggressive gestures trying to make everybody feel like it's okay to bring Kaepernick in. I got an idea. Just bring him in. Just bring the man in and let him have a chance to honestly compete for a position. Because I tell you what, he ain't no worse than nothing that Washington rolled out there last year. Who was it? Taylor Heineke? Come on, man. I think the Giants rolled up. Oh, did the Giants play Mike Glennon last year? Yo, come on, man. Yo, there's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL that don't have a quarter of the talent that Kaepernick does. Don't have a quarter of the experience that Kaepernick does. And by the way, we're not just talking about, somebody who is a charity case, right? We're not talking about somebody who rolled in off the street and it's like, oh man, let's just give this guy a shot. This man went to a Super Bowl. This man was 2 yards away from winning a Super Bowl. I think it was, didn't he throw a fade to Michael Crabtree that he didn't catch? Whatever. But right there was right there on the 2-yard line. He was 2 yards away from being a Super Bowl winning quarterback. The man can play, right? So, these are not even really honestly arguments worth having because anybody with eyeballs knows what's up. But here's the funny thing about it, right? The people who still campaign against Colin Kaepernick getting a shot in the NFL, I'm going to tell you a secret. They don't care that much. They don't really care that much. I'm going to tell you why. Because racism does not affect white people that much. It doesn't. The only time racism really affects most white people is when they feel forced to talk about it, right? When they feel like they're confronted by it, they can't get away from it. And it's like, you know what? I got something to say. I'm gonna say it, right? But like the people we're talking about, they're never going to watch the NFL again. Come on, give me a break. It's not that serious. It's not that serious to the white people. It's not. The people that are out here complaining, talking about their, threatening to boycott, I promise you, ain't none of those damn people gonna stop watching the NFL because of Colin Kaepernick. They're not. Because it's not that important. If a team signs Colin Kaepernick, this will be news for a week, maybe 2 weeks. Because the news cycle just moves too fast. There'll be some other scandal. Somebody will get drunk, or somebody will break an ankle. Some rookie will do something wild. Somebody will hold out for a contract. Some owner will get caught drunk driving, you know what I mean? Or in a massage parlor. Okay? Like, the news cycle just moves too much. Colin Kaepernick is not going to stop the news cycle. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. At this point, is that man ever going to play in the league again? Probably not. But listen, I'm here for it. You know what I mean? I hope the brother gets a shot. And if you don't, whatever. You know what I mean? At least he's doing his part. So that is what it is. Let me get a swig of water here right quick. Got some live people in the chat. What up, Joker? Shout out to Joker. Hope you guys are enjoying. Go ahead and hit that like button. Drop some likes on this page. Drop some likes on this here first ever live stream of the Talkin Bout Podcast. I'm having fun. I hope you guys are enjoying it. This is good stuff. But this is the time in the show when I am going to do something that, listen, it may turn some of you guys off, but if you guys know me, you know I love wrestling. I love wrestling, and we about to talk about some wrestling. I'm going to talk about some wrestling. So, here's a funny thing to me. There is this funny myth, right? What I call it a very funny myth. And the myth is that WWE does not have an offseason. And that's just not true, right? WWE does have an offseason. And if you don't believe me, then you must not have watched Raw or SmackDown for the past 2 weeks. WWE 100% has an offseason, and that offseason is going on right now. It's going on right now. Let's see. The Tribal Chief is on vacation. Okay? We've spent about, my God, what is it? The past year or so, right? We've spent about the past year or so being fed that nobody really matters other than Brock and Roman, right? Brock and Roman. They beat any and everybody, right? You had to minimize Big E. I think Roman beat Big E 2 times on an episode of Monday Night Raw, right? You had to minimize Bobby Lashley, right? Like Bobby Lashley, he did beat Brock Lesnar, but then they had, he went out of the Elimination Chamber with some shoulder injury and, whatever. Like we knew that Brock was going to end up pinning him too, but whatever. So that didn't happen. But the point is, you spent a year basically telling us that nobody matters but Brock and Roman. So we get to WrestleMania. You have your biggest match ever. Right. Your biggest match ever. And now we're out of it, right? Now we're out of it. And it's like, now what? And I'll just say this. Thank God for Cody Rhodes. Thank God for Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes returned at WrestleMania. He beat the homie Seth Rollins. I'm a big Seth Rollins fan. I really didn't want to see Seth Rollins, just take that L with, no real benefit on the other side for him. But, he's a pro. He'll come out better on the other end for it. Cody beat Seth at WrestleMania, and Cody by far has the most interesting story coming out of WrestleMania and going forward. But other than that, what are we getting on Monday Night Raw and on SmackDown.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
A whole lot of that, right? A whole lot of that. We're getting an Elias push. We got Elias with a shaved beard. That's new. We're getting a Madcap Moss push, right? We're getting that. What are we getting? We're getting Veer.
Oh, hell no!
We're getting Veer. Veer, it took him a long time to come, but Veer has come. And he is here. And he is camel clutching the Mysterios into oblivion. Oblivion. Okay. Shout out for pronunciation. I try to enunciate my words, people. So Veer is here, and what else? What else are they doing? They're giving Ricochet some TV time. They're talking about unifying the tag team titles, which I think is cool, by the way. Okay, I think that's cool, right? Because to unify the tag team titles, you got the Usos, who are an offshoot of Roman and his main event act, right? The Bloodline, right? The Wounds, right? You got these guys going against RK Bro, who is arguably the most popular act on Monday Night Raw, right? Like, there's no really denying, like, the Usos are, the Usos and RK Bro, like, that's a main event combination. But the problem is, y'all have not treated these guys as a main event act, right? Y'all haven't treated the Usos. Sorry. Y'all, I know, I'm excited too. Y'all haven't treated the Usos as a main event act. Y'all haven't treated RK Bro as a main event act. Although they are, right? Y'all have not treated them that way. And so, since y'all haven't treated them that way, why would we see them that way? Right? Like, why would we be excited about these guys like they are, you know, like this is supposed to be like a proper main event? Like I said, y'all have basically spent the better part of a year telling us that nothing matters except Brock and Roman. So we're getting a whole lot of nothing. And I'm glad Cody Rhodes is here, right? Because, you know, Cody Rhodes told a story that I think we can all get behind, right? Like, Cody Rhodes' journey, in my opinion, I want to see this go all the way to WrestleMania. I want to see Cody Rhodes' journey go all the way to WrestleMania. I want to see Cody win the WWE title or whatever title it is he's going for. I highly doubt they'll keep the titles unified between now and next WrestleMania. But if they do or if they don't, Cody Rhodes should be winning the championship at WrestleMania next year. That's a story. It's a phenomenal story. It's a phenomenal story. He's basically avenging his family name and righting a wrong, right? Like, he was in WWE. He came up. They shut him down. He went out, proved himself, built a competitor to WWE, made WWE sign him back, and now he's going to prove that he can run with the ball in WWE. Bro, who can't get behind a story like that? That's a phenomenal story. You got to give it up for Cody Rhodes, okay? Like, because he basically built this situation himself. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So, yeah, man, thank God for Cody Rhodes, because other than that, WWE does not have a whole lot going on. It is 100% WWE's offseason. And if you needed any more proof of the fact that it's the offseason in WWE, on Monday night, we got a double wedding involving the 24/7 championship. Why are y'all clapping for this? Why are y'all applauding this? This is terrible. We got a double wedding involving the 24/7 championship, and I'm pretty sure the title changed hands like 3 times during a wedding ceremony. I mean, you know, wrestling weddings are always going to be some, you know, some tomfoolery, some shenanigans, some what was the word? Thrusting action. but look, man, it's the offseason WWE, which brings me to another point. Maybe it's time to experiment. Listen, being that WWE has no intention of giving us anything good anytime soon, maybe this is the good time to try some other wrestling products. Maybe. maybe you've been very tribal, not tribal chief, but very tribal about the AEW WWE war, the perceived war between AEW and WWE. And maybe you've been so hardcore in your WWE fandom that you have not given AEW a chance. Well, this might be the perfect time to give AEW a shot. I'm not putting off AEW. I don't have anything against AEW. You know, well, I mean, they have their things. They have their things. But I'm not like, I'm not anti-AEW. I'm not anti-WWE. I'm just saying WWE's not doing much right now, right? Like, this might be the time to see what some other shows got going on. But if I can recommend one to you, give Impact Wrestling a shot. Now, listen, Impact has plenty of their flaws, and if you've been a wrestling fan who's been watching wrestling just in the general, wrestling news sphere for long enough, you know all of the LOL TNA negativity that's been around Impact Wrestling. But here's the thing. If you're a 15-year-old wrestling fan, you were, 7, 8 years old when TNA was canceled from Spike TV. So, the truth is, we're a very long way away from all the LOL TNA days. So there's a whole generation of young wrestling fans now who have no experience with all the bad TNA stuff that Meltzer was just constantly hating on. So, like, I'm here to tell you that there's an Impact Wrestling that you may not know, and it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. I would say, honestly, I watch AEW consistently. I watch WWE consistently. And I watch Impact consistently. And Impact Wrestling probably has the best storytelling out of all three of those. Easily. They're in the midst of a story right now with the world champion Moose, Josh Alexander challenging him for the title. And these two stories, their paths go back about 2 years. They haven't been feuding over the title for 2 years, but the company was under like a hostile takeover almost by AEW's Kenny Omega, and they both were, Moose was trying to get a shot at the title. He got a shot at the title, but got screwed out of it. Josh Alexander was like the up-and-comer who fought his way up and got a shot at the title, but Kenny Omega dropped the title to Christian Cage before Josh Alexander got his shot. Josh Alexander beat Christian Cage for the Impact title and brought it back to Impact Wrestling, but then Moose screwed him over and won the title from him. And then, Moose has been doing all type of foul stuff to Josh Alexander to keep him from getting the title. And they're just telling a really fun, phenomenal story, man. It's an emotional story. And Impact really is trying to build a company, a face of the company type of star in Josh Alexander. And like I said, it's been good. The former Bronson Reed, they call him Jonah now. He's been in Impact Wrestling. He's just been killing people. So, if you like seeing a big dude just maul people to death, then Jonah is for you, okay? If you were a fan of Ring of Honor, a lot of the former Ring of Honor guys, the OGK, Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis and Matt Taven, they're in Impact now. Kenny King, they got Impact has a lot of stuff, man. I would definitely recommend, if you guys, like I said, if you're getting a little frustrated, a little bored with WWE right now, this might be the time to try another product. So I'm just putting that out there. This might be a time to experiment a little bit, all right? Swig of water. One of my beefs that I've had with AEW has been their positioning and presentation of black wrestlers. Now, there's a long history of this that is well documented out there, and I'm not going to get into all of that right now. But I think something, a funny bit of happenstance might have actually forced Tony Khan to book a black wrestler strongly, and whether he wanted to or not. As I'm sure you guys probably know, Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, or the Ashes of Ring of Honor, and I'm not sure he quite knows exactly what he's going to do with it yet. right? Like, I don't think they have a TV slot for, a weekly TV show booked. I don't think they have anything like that. I don't know exactly where the Ring of Honor television product is going to live. I don't know if it's going to be a thing for much longer anyway. But one thing they have been doing is they've been, putting the Ring of Honor belts on different people within AEW. And a lot of those people are AEW talent who have an attachment already to Ring of Honor, right? One of those people is Jay Lethal, right? So we got Jay Lethal, Samoa Joe, and they appear to be feuding over the Ring of Honor World Championship. Jonathan Gresham has the Ring of Honor World Championship. Samoa Joe has the Ring of Honor Television Championship. And Jay Lethal was the Ring of Honor World Champion once upon a time. So because Tony Khan, he has the Ring of Honor property, he has these Ring of Honor belts, and really they're just kind of floating around AEW on random people right now, and he needs something to do with them, I think it's kind of forced him to book Jay Lethal stronger than he's ever booked a black wrestler before, other than Jade Cargill. Shout out to Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, for a long time, has been the best thing on AEW TV to me. We love you, Jade. So, other than that, though, Tony Khan really has not booked a black wrestler strong. I mean, like, once a lot of this fuss came out, right? Like Big Swole pointing out that, you guys don't really do a great job presenting black talent. And, Tony Khan, responding to her tweet, in a very petulant fashion. He started booking black wrestlers more, right? Started seeing a lot more of, but what he was doing was he started throwing like all the black wrestlers in like one segment, right? Like it was Powerhouse Hobbs and Dante Martin for like 3 weeks in a row. Then they threw Ricky Starks in that mix somewhere too, right? Then Dante Martin's brother came back. So now those two guys are going Top Flight. They're going to work some tag team stuff. Now they've replaced Top Flight with Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee against Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks. So it's like it's like he has like a random black wrestler match generator, right? And let's just see which black wrestlers will all be paired together today, right? Which is like, it's fine, right? Oh, and please don't let me forget Scorpio Sky, right? Scorpio Sky was sparingly on TV for the better part of about a year. At one point, they decided that they want to say that because he's barely been on TV for a year, that he hasn't been beaten on TV for a year. Give it up for clever wording. That's clever. That's clever. I'll give you credit for that. And so they decided to give Scorpio Sky the television title, right? Which was cool. Oh, I'm sorry. What do they call it? The TNT title. They gave him the TNT title, and I said, okay, this is cool. They're giving Scorpio Sky the TNT title, but let's see if they're actually going to build his character, right? And in the match in which he won the TNT title, this segment was much more about Sammy Guevara and his girlfriend, Ty Conti, just letting everybody know that the two of them, are together. And introducing Paige Van Zant into having some sort of a feud with Ty Conti, right? So it's okay, they gave this guy the title, but, that was pretty much secondary to what they were trying to present. Okay, cool. Now they've recently taken the title off him, so no need to even dispute that anymore. That was a thing, and now it's not a thing. But because they need to do something with this Ring of Honor stuff, he has given Jay Lethal a manager in Sanjay Dutt, right? So he has a mouthpiece, somebody to talk for him. He's given him a goon, right? This big Indian former NBA player. He's been out there beating people up. And so now you've created a situation where you have like this heel army that's going to be antagonizing Samoa Joe. Hopefully it'll be over a title. And intentionally or unintentionally, Tony Khan is finally booking a black wrestler strongly, and I'm here for it. I am here for it. Tony, whether you wanted to or not, you have come around. You have come around, and I will be here in full support of Jay Lethal and whatever the plan is for him going forward. I definitely want to see what you're going to do with Jay Lethal in the coming days. All right, man. This was fun. We're at about the 45-minute mark or so. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. If you guys catch this in the podcast form, please make sure to share this podcast with a friend. You know what I mean? Share it with somebody else. Send it to them. Tag them on their Facebook page. Tweet it to them. If you're watching this on YouTube, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. If you like it, if you don't like it. Again, the most important thing you guys can do if you want to help the show out, tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's bring more people into the conversation. Follow me on Twitter at TW Talkin Bout. Follow the show at Talkin Bout Pod. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. This is a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And this was fun for me, so I'm probably going to do this more, man. I'll see you guys when I see you. Peace.